Maybe you sampled some gingerbread this holiday season. But Elizabeth Palmer tells us there's gingerbread, and then there's gingerbread.
Here's where the art of baking
There's no support here.
meets the science of engineering.
How do you know it's not going to collapse?
I know.
Hui-Man Lee, a veteran of the Great British Bake Off, is the gingerbread construction boss.
Have you ever built a gingerbread house this big before?
Oh no, never. This is the biggest. Possibly never again.
Gingerbread houses were first made in Germany centuries ago. But it was the fairy tale Hansel and Gretel that turned them into a Christmas tradition.
This is really good.
What's taking shape here in architect Trevor Morris's living room is no mere house. It's an edible replica of London's Olympia, a Victorian exhibition hall currently being revamped in real life by his firm.
How did you begin?
First of all was the imagination, and then a sketch. And then from that sketch, we then kind of took it into our computer model.
Powerful technology for sure, but it didn't predict the construction delays caused by Mr. Perkins.
Perkins jumped in the box.
The damage? Several cracked windows.
Look at him. He knows. He knows why he's outside.
The windows may look like real glass, but they're edible too.
What have you made the glass from?
So I bake halfway through, and then I put the candy in, and then carry on baking. So it will melt inside the windows.
This masterpiece is headed for London's Gingerbread City, a Christmas pop-up featuring creations by some of London's top architects. There are real landmarks like Big Ben, but fantasy buildings too. A log house perched in a tree, wintry wonderlands with all the trimmings, and a gummy bear plaza.
First of all, this is not gingerbread.
It is gingerbread.
Come on.
It's charcoal powder infused gingerbread.
On one side, the rec center.
I can see some magical things.
This is our gummy high rocks. We have a little street food market over here. We have some chess games going on.
And back here, the world's sweetest parliament.
You're seeing the 156 gummy MPs inside.
And each color represents a party.
That's correct, yes.
Hui-Man's pride and joy, Olympia, is here too, set up to show the working amusement park inside. And she couldn't be happier.
Does gingerbread mean Christmas to you now?
I think gingerbread house could be all year round because I love making gingerbread house so much.
Turns out, one of the secrets to holiday enchantment is a piece of cake.
In the forests of Burgundy in central France stands a medieval castle. It's partially built, not because it's in ruins, but because it's still under construction. It looks and sounds like the year 1255. The challenge here is to build as they would have in that era. Long before electricity, using tools fashioned by blacksmiths, and laying stones by hand.
It's a mixture of sand and lime and water. So this is like our glue that we use to stick all of our stones together.
And this will last for...
And this will last thousands and thousands and thousands of years, no problem. This is what the Romans and the Greeks used.
Ben Wallace was restoring old buildings when he visited this castle called Guédelon as a tourist and applied for a job.
How is it to have been a stonemason as a career and then to discover this place exists?
Bit of a dream, really. The possibility to work as they did back in medieval times, to take the time as well to do things properly.
They are taking time. This project started 27 years ago and is still expanding into a medieval village.
Why build a castle?
I was staying a little modest. I don't speak about cathedral. A castle.
Cathedral would have been even more complicated.
A little more.
Co-founder Marlon Martin worked with the unemployed and liked the idea of creating jobs in rural France. Today, the project is sustained through ticket sales to 300,000 visitors a year.
I want that people stay here and let their imagination go.
The castle is here because of this quarry, where Tundra Shauren extracts sandstone for the walls.
I can select in this slate how many stones I want to cut out of it.
In a modern quarry, it's huge trucks and heavy equipment. What's used here is an iron wedge and sledgehammer.
It's a lovely job. And
Lovely?
yeah.
What makes it lovely?
Imagine that this simple block is going to represent a beautiful stone in the castle with beautiful geometrical shapes.
My job in Guénelon is really to grow medicinal gardens.
Resident herbalist Emma Blondie nurtures plants not just for food, but medicine, using medieval documents as a guide.
I just grinding like this until I have a very fine powder.
Paint recipes from the Middle Ages have been unearthed too.
It's a mix with the white of the egg, some cherry tree gum. Yes, I know.
Claire Pio's palette for wall designs comes from what's found on castle grounds.
So we have some different stones, clays, charcoal, ochres.
In this bold effort to build a castle from scratch, they're following a design that dates back to France's King Philip II, and 800 years later, it's fostering a new generation of specialist artisans. When Notre Dame burned in Paris, workers came from the castle to help and share expertise.
What's the bigger value to this project?
It's very green. We take the nature, trees, sand, stone, and we do a medieval castle, but we can imagine to take the same materials to do her house. It's a so modern adventure.
It's a modern adventure, building skills and realizing a dream by looking back to the design and ways of another time.
By some estimates, Americans will spend $3 billion on fresh flowers this Mother's Day. Connor Knighton shares a flower alternative some might consider a cut above.
For the past few weeks, this team of florists in Holt, Michigan has been prepping for Mother's Day. Selecting stems, bunching bouquets, boxing orders, and yet everyone seems surprisingly relaxed.
I'm not stressed about Mother's Day. I think that's the best part about being a paper florist. You can plan for your big holidays way ahead of time. Hey, Lisa. Hey.
That's right. All these flowers are artificial.
These are so pretty. I love them. I know.
Liz Carter is the founder of Unwilted, a company that sells paper arrangements with flowers designed by Carter and crafted overseas. She previously worked as a traditional florist.
I had definitely thought I was done with flowers, fresh flowers. I was exhausted. And I was looking on social media and I stumbled across crepe paper flowers and just fell in love, and I tumbled down the rabbit hole.
There's nothing new about paper flowers. Some of the earliest surviving examples are from 7th century China. In the early 20th century, making flowers was a family affair. Impoverished residents of New York City tenements would enlist their children to help assemble them. There are folded Japanese origami lotus flowers and fluffy Mexican festive bouquets. But social media has led to a sort of super bloom of renewed interest, with people showing off their creations and teaching others how to follow in their footsteps.
But you're just gonna pull one side.
These amateur paper pushers are attempting some of Quinn Wynn's floral designs.
Start where the gap is, and then just build it across. And look how pretty that is. I didn't realize I was an artist until I started doing paper flowers, and it just fell into this really beautiful world of meeting other people that love making paper flowers. And it's just opened my eye to like, oh, you can actually do this as a living.
Known online as Pink and Posy, Nguyen has managed to craft a career out of paper by taking on everything from corporate commissions
Hello, welcome back to
co-hosting more than 150 episodes of a Paper Talk podcast.
This one is probably my most difficult flower to make. This is a double peony.
How much trial and error is involved in this?
So much trial and error. I think that's the fun part of this. As being a creative, as an artist, you're like, what can I do with this flat piece of paper and make something really amazing with it?
While flowers can be made with everything from tissue paper to cardstock, pliable European crepe paper tends to give the most realistic results.
This is the Italian one. This is the 90 gram.
Oh, wow.
And keep stretching it. And keep stretching
That's
it.
kind of a magic trick. Yeah, huh? Working at home in Kirkland, Washington, Gwen takes pains to make her flowers as realistic as possible.
You want to rub it into the paper.
Hand painting details, obsessing over every petal. Until I touched this, I had no idea that one of these is real and one of these is fake. And honestly, looking at here, I've kind of forgotten which is which.
I'm so happy to hear that. That's the best compliment anyone can give me.
Artist Ann Wood, known on Instagram as Woodlucker, models her hyper-realistic flowers after the ones in her garden. The ones in her hand are made of paper. Paper also offers an opportunity to create fanciful, larger-than-life blooms. Artist Tiffany Turner's giant art pieces show in high-end galleries and sell for tens of thousands of dollars. And yet, there can still be a stigma that paper is cheap or tacky.
I was talking to my mom when I first did paper flowers in Vietnam, and she was like, oh, that was the poor people way of bringing flowers to the wedding because they couldn't afford fresh flowers.
Today, paper flowers can often be more expensive than the genuine article.
Good.
Which makes sense when you consider all the time involved in making one. The process is the point.
I love the quiet moment of joy when I create something.
Of course, there's no smell. There's you can tell the difference. Although, for people with pollen allergies, that could be a plus. Oh, for bees, it is very confusing. But the biggest selling point for faux flowers is the longevity. As Liz Carter points out, paper persists long after the holiday is passed.
Coming from the world of fresh flowers, I was always so disappointed when the flowers would die or wilt. It's such a shame to let such beautiful things be so fleeting.
You say you couldn't make it to Paris to take in the latest Van Gogh show? Not to worry. Seth Doan can tell us all about it.
With bold colors and dramatic brushstrokes, Vincent van Gogh, that tortured genius, has traditionally expressed himself through his art. But now there's also his avatar.
Van Gogh, what is your greatest inspiration?
My greatest inspiration, without a doubt, is nature.
He's a tad monotone, but is equipped with a wealth of knowledge.
It is in nature that I find comfort.
Artificial intelligence combs select biographies and the artist's own writings, 900 letters, covering art, relationships, and his struggles with mental health.
As you can see, the interface is quite simple. It's a digital screen and a microphone, but behind this, there is months of research in artificial intelligence.
Agnès Abastado oversees digital development for the Musée d'Orsay in Paris, as this storied museum in an old train station finds new ways to engage visitors. Its recent Van Gogh exhibition included a virtual reality experience based on the artist's palette and that avatar, Bonjour Vincent, which allows visitors to pose questions to the artist more than a century after his death.
How were the last few months of your life?
The last months of my existence were a blend of both hope and despair, a tumultuous combination that consumed me wholly. In the end, it was a time of great turmoil, which eventually led to my premature demise.
It's remarkably personal.
Yeah, it is personal because this technology really wants to recreate the personality of someone.
Van Gogh was a troubled artist who killed himself at age 37, just 10 years into his painting career. But he was prolific at the end. In his last 70 days of life, he was producing more than a painting a day and dozens of drawings, many of which were gathered at the museum.
You've read those 900 letters of Van Gogh's. I asked the Van Gogh avatar what his greatest inspiration was. He said nature. Was the avatar right?
Yes, totally.
Emmanuel Coquerib is the exhibition curator. He notes this period of Van Gogh's life is marked by experimentation, clouds painted in reverse, blue brushstrokes over a white background.
It's very lively because you still see the gesture of the painter, and you see the flower here, very thick.
When you're this close to the painting, you can
yes,
actually see the paint.
Exactly. We always say it's a painter of color, but above all, a painter of thickness.
The Dutch artist had moved to the countryside near Paris in May 1890 after famously cutting off his ear and spending time in an asylum. He'd come to see Dr. Paul Gachet, whom he painted.
Dr. Gachet told him to forget about all your trouble, problems, just work, paint. So all day long he painted.
He followed doctor's orders, painting the roots of an acacia tree at the very end.
He finished it on the day he died. And of course, the symbolism is really heavy. He wanted to marry, to find a house, and to root himself in family life with children. He didn't succeed. And he says in his last letter that was found in his pocket, only our painting can speak.
But now those letters are speaking through a higher tech form of expression.
But even though Dr. Gachet gave me his word, I could not bring myself to believe that my troubled mind could ever be healed.
Some visitors could say this is a gimmick or almost a distraction from Van Gogh's art.
It's another way to enter what we know and all the knowledge about Van Gogh. And what I think interesting about this interface is that it's not us, museum, who choose a theme. It's the visitor who really has what he wants to know about Van Gogh.
We asked AI Van Gogh about the initial public reception to his work.
It brings me great grief that so many of my creations remain unacknowledged and unsold.
So he recognized that his art wasn't that well received.
Artificial intelligence only hints at the poetry of Van Gogh's writing. He was prolific in life and, as it turns out, prophetic before death.
Though I cannot claim to foresee what is to come, I hold firmly to my conviction that true art, possesses the ability to transcend time and stir the hearts of generations to come. To me, the worth of my art lies in its power to reverberate with others and to reveal a glimpse into the splendor and intricacy of life itself.
If the Statue of Liberty has been lonely, standing at the mouth of New York Harbor as she has these past 134 years, she certainly never showed it. Still closed to visitors due to COVID, Lady Liberty projects the same confidence and majesty as ever. Only now she's got company. On Wednesday, a second, smaller Statue of Liberty arrived on our shores, a gift from France. They say it symbolizes the enduring friendship between our two countries. French Ambassador Philippe Etienne.
It's more important than ever to underline how our democracies need to work together with our common values, including everything which is symbolized by these statues. Freedom, but also equal opportunities for all our citizens.
Hoisted from her Parisian perch last month and carefully wrapped, the statue boarded a freighter bound for America, retracing the very same transatlantic route the original statue traveled in 1885. As the new statue passed Liberty Island, New York City's fire department greeted it with a water cannon salute. Crafted from the original plaster model used by French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, this bronze replica weighs in at nearly 1,000 pounds. At 9 feet high, it's about 1/16 the size of its much larger counterpart. This Independence Day weekend, the statue is on display on Ellis Island, less than a mile from her big sister. Then it's off to Washington, D.C., where the statue will be installed at the French ambassador's residence, just in time for Bastille Day on July 14th. We'll be back in a moment.
If you're a lover of books, there's no place quite like the hushed hallways of New York's Grolier Club. It's America's oldest and largest society for the exceptionally well-read.
In this case, we have religion, commemoration, photography, and travel souvenirs.
But its latest exhibit is a page-turner of a decidedly different sort.
My hope was to knock everybody's socks off. I wanted to amaze and inspire.
Mindel Dubansky has spent the better part of 30 years rummaging through pawn shops and eBay and garage sales, all to find books that aren't filled with paper and ink. Instead, they're filled with surprises.
That's right.
That is great. From leaping wooden snakes to something a little more adult.
Book flasks were very popular during Prohibition, the hidden ones.
She even has a few books once owned by magicians.
That one is the Holy Bible Hot Book. So that when they're telling a story, they're doing their spiel, and then they open it and flames throw out of the top. And this is the hot book gone wrong. I mean, you can kind of see it's like...
This is all your collection?
This is part of my collection. Yeah, I have about probably maybe 600 or so. It's nuts, I know. It's crazy.
In fact, she has so many of these books that look like books but really aren't, she invented a name for them. Blooks.
It's an affectionate term that I had for them, and it just stuck.
So Blook is just a contraction of...
Book look. This case has food and candy, grooming and fashion, household appliances.
Her exhibit is the first of its kind, and it's drawing crowds of book enthusiasts, anxious to see her collected curiosities, often bound with nothing more than imagination.
And it is a sewing box.
Really?
Yes.
Take the 1960s Secret Sam camera book from Topper Toys. It included a periscope, a 16-exposure camera, and the ability to shoot rubber bullets. As a longtime preservation librarian at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Mindy began to think that books that looked like books should have a place in history, too.
So at its very core, this is a celebration of the book as a thing.
It's a book love show. For me personally, it's gratitude.
Gratitude for?
For books. I love them. They've changed my life. What else can you, this little simple thing, it's sitting on the shelf, you pick it up, you start reading, the next thing you know, your entire life has been transformed and you're another person.
Her favorite fake books are the ones that do something or become something, like this one.
Oh, wow.
The oldest item in her collection.
It's a portable altar, a Catholic altar. It could have been a hidden altar in a place where it was safe to be a Catholic.
There's also a book alarm clock from the 1970s. Then there's this Crosley book radio from the 1950s. And then there's the book with eyes called The Informer.
So what does this do?
It's a motion detector, a security alarm for your house.
Some are clearly novelty items, and those are Mindy's favorites.
This whole case is exploding books.
Yes, she said exploding. Brought to us by the same company that brought us the whoopee cushion. They went off with a bang to the unsuspecting reader. Or if they were really unlucky, some got an electric shock.
You scare the hell out of one of your friends, basically, and it's hysterical.
There are funny titles and funny authors, like this one, written by the illustrious Dostoevsky. They were called punchline books, and they all opened to reveal some pretty good one-liners.
And what's this one? How to Save Your Hair?
How to Save Your Hair.
So how to save your hair is a plastic bag.
How to save your hair. We absolutely guarantee if you use this method, you will never lose your hair.
So because they started out largely as kitsch or as a gag.
Or a novelty, maybe.
Is it hard to get people to take them seriously?
Oh yeah, I mean, I had to have a show like this for people to take me seriously because they are kitsch.
But kitsch and yet still historically significant.
Well, isn't that what's so great about them? I think that's what people are responding to.
And why not? Books, even haunted ones, remind us that maybe in this age of digital novels and e-readers, that perhaps we're missing something.
Everyone wants to kill books. They're dead. We're going to the book funeral. It's like, what? No. Books are so meaningful to so many people, and I feel like this is the time to celebrate them in a positive way. The wood in this box.
And celebrate them she has. More proof that, yes, books, even fake ones, still matter.
The world's a tough place, and this is a little spot of joy. It's great.
Call it a little Japanese kitchen magic. Green goop is transformed into a head of lettuce. A tempting tray of sushi won't lose its appeal for years. And this mackerel has never seen a grill.
Where do you see fake food in Japan?
See it in department stores, in shopping malls, in underground shopping areas, in touristy places such as this. You see it everywhere.
Ohio native Justin Hannes showed us around his adopted home city of Osaka. Known as Japan's food capital, fake or sample food abounds here too.
Fake food overcomes a language barrier?
Exactly.
You point to it and say, this is what I want.
Exactly. And that's how it's been in this country for 70, 80 years.
Across Japan, realistic-looking food displays are used by restaurants to demonstrate portion size and are laid out to try to lure customers.
It's really an advertising tool.
Oh, exactly.
Hannes sells plastic food via his website and claims if you can cook it, they can make a replica that looks good enough to eat. That's thanks to his manufacturer, 60-year-old artisan Fumio Marino.
Why has this fake food taken root here in Japan?
Western-style dishes were introduced to Japan and customers were unfamiliar with them, so they didn't sell well, he explained. Today, I think it's as useful as ever. At his Osaka workshop, we found a sumptuous spread of treats, all completely inedible, of course. It is remarkable craftsmanship, though, which Marino first learned from his dad.
Wow.
My father always said, before you eat something, observe it, he remembered. Study its color, patterns, and then you can dig in. Making it look just right takes a lot of trial and error. It turns out panko coating for shrimp looks best if it's made from polyvinyl chloride, or soba soup broth from urethane. Kiwi seeds can be created by permanent marker, and getting beef to the perfect temperature is more airbrush than oven. Marino told us it can take 10 years to master this.
It just blows all off.
That made me feel a bit better with my attempt at shrimp tempura.
My tempura looks a little sad.
Each piece is handcrafted, a sort of artisanal plastic. It seems machines just can't make it look so real.
How expensive is plastic food?
It can get pretty pricey, anywhere from $70 on up. But the benefit there is, if you leave it outside, it should last for at least 7 years in all weather conditions. 7 years, it's not going to budge.
Hannes says souvenirs, from keychains to magnets, make up most of his business. But buying fake food is not just for the casual collector.
Sushi, chahan.
Sushi, rice. Tiramisu, yeah.
Meet Akiko Obata. She showed us the room her husband won't enter. I sit here relaxing, she told us. I add new items and just look at my collection. It's really quite something. She's decorated the walls with pizza, and drawers are filled with creme brulee. Seated on a burger and a piece of cake, we chatted about her hobby.
Why did you start collecting food, plastic food of all things?
I always thought plastic food samples were only available for people in the food industry, she told us. But when I found out they were available for a housewife like me, I started buying them. She has no idea how much she's spent, though doesn't dispute estimates of more than $80,000.
Do people think you're crazy?
I'm not aware of that, she chuckled. Well, it landed her a place in the Guinness Book of World Records for having more than 8,000 pieces of plastic-prepared food items, Who knew there was such a category? While Obata may have taken it to another level, we found this fake food is undoubtedly appealing. And there's something almost enchanting about these handmade, delicious-looking morsels you'd never dare to eat.
The story you're about to hear is a confession of a talent tempted, of a painter driven into a darker form of art.
Oh, I just felt that if I can outsmart them, so much the better.
His name is Ken Perani, self-taught for the most part.
I learned to paint by looking very carefully at paintings in museums. I just felt that if I had paints and brushes, I could do that too. I was convinced.
He learned well. His steady hand, his eye for detail, are often compared to many of the 19th century masters. But Perani didn't just use his paintbrush to please. For him, his art was also a con.
It was me against the experts. Can I outsmart them again? Can I outwit them? Can I succeed? Can I make a fake and pass it off as an original?
You heard right. Make a fake. Perani spent a lifetime ripping off art dealers and auction houses by painting fakes so accurate that few could tell the difference between his forgeries and the real thing.
Did you get a rush from doing it?
Yeah, sure.
It was addictive.
Absolutely. Risk is addictive. Whether it's gambling or the stock market, it's like going out for the hunt. This here is a Martin Johnson Heed that I painted.
So it's not a Martin Johnson Heed.
Yeah, it's
He's not apologetic about his misdeeds. In fact, he's downright proud.
It's something that I'm particularly pleased with.
The detail's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
He carefully nurtured his dubious craft in a way many cherish a fine wine, and has now written a tell-all book, Caveat Emptor, Buyer Beware, detailing almost every dirty deal he did.
I mean, you're certainly not asking for anybody's forgiveness here.
No.
You're gloating about it, about getting away with it.
Well, I wouldn't characterize it as gloating. I would say I'm just being honest. To this day, I'm still thrilled with the pictures I could paint.
Perani never meant to be a forger. He had hoped to be an artist in his own right when he started in the 1960s in New York. But his original work wasn't getting much attention. So he turned to a small Flemish portrait he had once copied out of a book. It became the first fake he ever sold.
As I was approaching the gallery, I started getting very nervous. I was beginning to realize maybe this is crazy, but I forced myself to do it.
His sales pitch was always simple and calculated.
You were very careful not to ever pass your fakes off as real. You went in and sort of played dumb and said, I don't really know what this is. I bought it at a garage sale or I found it somewhere. What do you think? And let them make their own judgments.
In a sense, I guess I got a perverse pleasure out of that. I liked to present the painting and have the expert explain to me what I have.
So you'd stand there watching them go over these
Yes.
paintings inch by inch.
Oh yes, that was part of the pleasure of the whole thing.
He, of course, is not the first art forger, but Perani is perhaps one of the more prolific. He learned to imitate an astonishing range of 19th century painters, like maritime artist James Buttersworth, known for the delicate lines on his sails. This is an original Buttersworth. Now, look at Ken's forgery of a Buttersworth.
And that's all done freehand. Nothing is drawn in with pencils or anything. It's actually done with a brush, and you have to have an incredibly steady hand to achieve that. And that's what Buttersworth was noted for. And even that little ship there, if you look very closely, has lines painted as fine as a human hair on it. And
how did you learn how to do that?
A lot of practice.
There's John F. Herring, whose equestrian paintings had a unique look.
This is one of my favorites right here.
Ken copied him as well, right down to the bootstraps.
He took particular care in the boot and the saddle and in the face of the jockey. And it's a very difficult technique to understand and master.
But the crown jewel of his forgeries was a Martin Johnson Heed. In 1994, it went on the Sotheby's auction block as an original. That night, he took home a receipt for $650,000, money to be wired to his account.
Was that your biggest score that you ever had?
On one painting, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's just typical business.
Just typical business.
Yeah.
To you, maybe, not to most people. All these little losses here where the paint is just flicked off, you've done all of that on purpose.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It wasn't only the paintings themselves that he forged.
I like the effects of age.
He learned to fake time itself.
But I often like to look at the backs of my paintings and hang them this way.
Because you're more proud of that?
Yeah, I think that this is an illusion that I like to create. How well can you make something look really old that's all brand new?
He became an expert at faking the forensics of a painting, weathering wooden frames, staining a perfectly new canvas to make it look old.
It discolors through the years, and I learned to simulate that.
So that's all made up?
It's all made up. It's all brand new.
He mimicked chalk marks left by auction houses and recreated stamps from dealers.
That's a new stamp. I make those on copy machines and then stain them with tea and glue them on there. So
you've got a process for everything.
Yes.
Even the nails he used to pin the canvas down were period.
Okay.
But perhaps most important of all is his ability to replicate how oil paint cracks with age. There are patterns, he says, like a spider web, that with heat and the right chemicals, he can reproduce like Father Time himself.
This is a very beautiful example of a portrait with a very fine cracking pattern. And if you look at these closely, you'll see a nice sweeping pattern of them. That's a nice touch of authenticity. It's an ongoing process. I'm still perfecting it today.
He says today because he's still painting fakes. Only now he sells them as fakes. The look of the real thing for much cheaper. But why come clean now? Well, it's because he almost got caught. The FBI had been investigating forgeries at the big auction houses, Sotheby's and Christie's, and had traced a few suspected paintings back to Perrine. But he dodged their questions, saying he didn't know the origin of the paintings. He had just passed them along.
Were they ever wrong in any of their accusations?
No.
They nailed it.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it was pretty hard to deny it.
And yet, the FBI never filed charges. Even Perrine isn't sure why. All he knows is that now, no one can touch him. The statute of limitations on his misdeeds has run out.
You lied to the agents.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah. But, well, that's, in my world, that's survival. It's part of the game.
As you might imagine, it was no game to those in the art world.
So what is Ken in your mind?
A thief. Essentially, he's a thief on the loose.
Brenda Simonson Mole is an art appraiser in Dallas. She read Perrine's bold confession with disgust.
It does irritate me. I mean, it's you know, it's bank robbery with a paintbrush.
But if you ask him, he says it's pretty much a victimless crime.
It's not really a victimless crime. It's someone ends up with essentially fool's gold, you know, on their walls.
While he's up front now about his fakes, he left a very long trail. He estimates there are about 1,000 of his forged works still out there, duping would-be buyers to this day.
It's like bumping into an old friend, you know. It's good to see where they've gone in the world.
But don't we all suffer a little from having fakes out there?
I don't think so. I think that I've made a contribution to the art world.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, as they say. So, whether you see him as a painter or a con artist, Perrine himself seems most proud of being both.
On the south bank of the Thames, not far from the site of Shakespeare's original Globe Theatre, an American actor's dream has finally come to life.
It isn't just a building. I mean, it's a living building.
It's all made of wood. Everything between the bricks and the thatch is made of wood.
It won't have a roof over it. It won't have chairs in the yard. It won't have electric lights in the afternoon.
Every joint here is so carefully hand-finished.
We are really trying to find out and respect the space that Shakespeare wanted us to meet his plays in.
When Zoe Wanamaker read the prologue for Henry V in the presence of her monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, it was, she said, the most thrilling moment of her life.
Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention. A kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene.
She's the daughter of the late Sam Wanamaker, the American actor who fought the City Fathers for 27 years to rebuild what Shakespeare called the Wooden O.
My feeling of it was peppered with anger as well, that it took everybody so long. But he would have loved it.
Sam Wanamaker had fled to England in the 50s when the House Un-American Activities Committee was zeroing in on left-wing actors. During his exile in the land of Shakespeare, he found that the only trace of the original theater in which Shakespeare wrote and presented his plays was a plaque on a brewery wall. He became obsessed with resurrecting the Globe.
I expected that once the site was identified and people knew that this project was going to go forward, would leap to its support, and it would spring up in 2 or 3 years. Well, clearly, it's had a lot of opposition.
You ask local people what they want housing and open space. They don't want...
The left-wing local government and residents of South London were opposed. Wanamaker was reviled for being American and aggressive.
I know it makes the British a little uncomfortable because they feel, oh, well, we should have done that. Well, they haven't done it, but they are doing it now.
Another problem. He had to base his reconstruction of the globe on a picture no larger than a postage stamp. Not much to go on, but enough for master builder Peter McCurdy to pursue the adventure of recreating a building that burned down in 1613.
So we've got the stair towers here and have a look at the work upstairs.
He sought out original materials, researched how Elizabethan builders worked, and copied surviving buildings from the period.
We actually know that the original stair towers on the theatres would probably only have been 10 foot square, and that wouldn't meet modern building regulations, so the tower had to be slightly larger.
And they learned something about the characteristics of an oval theatre.
I can see that the actors they've got as much to learn as we have. I mean, we've been learning on this project. I mean, I've been learning for 6 or 7 years, but I think the actors have probably got quite a long learning process as well.
The acoustics are almost too good.
I mean, hopefully, eventually, the building and the actors and the audience will have a harmony. It won't be 16th century. It'll be the 21st century. But it'll work.
All gallant knights done for the day's fight, the breastplate so bright to battle their foes.
This is Shakespeare as popular entertainment rather than a cultural event. A liberating experience for the 1,500 spectators.
You're free to eat, to drink, whenever you want. You're free to come and go as you want. How many theatres can you feel like that in? Not many.
Mark Rylance is the charismatic actor-manager of the Globe, a British citizen who grew up in America.
So there's a great sense of empowering the audience. Now, to me, if you're going to involve yourself in anything, and that's what Shakespeare is asking for, particularly in the first chorus of Henry V and in all the choruses, give us your imagination. Don't just sit back and think and observe this with your head. Give us your heart. Hate people if you want to hate them, want to murder them. We can deal with it.
Then let the trumpet sound. For our approach shall so much dare the field that England shall crouch down in fear and yield.
Shall we send them dinners and fresh suits and after fight with them?
To the field! Come, come! March away! The sun is high and we outwear the day!
At the Globe, you can boo Shakespeare's haughty French. Roles that are played in this production by American actors Christian Camargo and Stephen Skybell.
We had tomatoes thrown at us, peanuts.
Which is encouraged by the management. But it's really, I mean, it's wonderful because, again, this space is not a TV screen and it's not a movie screen. For the audience to feel like they really can participate in the way they did in Shakespeare's day, I think is exciting for the audience. And they're just learning how to be in this theater as we are.
Leroy, a Cornish name. Oh, that Cornish crew?
No, I'm a Welshman.
Well, a fico for thee then.
There's something about it being in the space that it's like, it's raw, and it feels very visceral. And the response that this crowd gives us is so alive.
The king will have a heavy reckoning to make when all those legs and arms and heads chopped off in a battle all joined together.
Do you find the actors playing off the audience then? They're learning. We're all learning. No one knows how to play this space. That's why we built it. People have imagined and claimed they know how Shakespeare was played. They make all kinds of claims.
He that sees this day and lives old age will yearly on the vigil feast his neighbours and say, "Oh, tomorrow is St. Crispin's." And then will he strip his sleeve and show his scars and say, "These wounds I had on Crispin's day."
A lot of the scenes are opening up because because there's a new member in the scene. In fact, there's 1,500 new people in the scene.
So we're the soldiers.
You're the soldiers.
We're
yeah.
the people on the piazza, or whatever.
We are. When I come out and say once more into the breach, there's no point saying it to a few extras on the stage or the people who are there. I say it to the people in the yard. I say, you imagine what it's like to go and risk your life. For what?
We few. We happy few. We band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother.
There's a lot of connections between Henry and Sam. And to follow a leader like Sam, who's got just this imagination of his right to a certain kind of territory, which was the Globe. And what can you see for it? What could people see here for 25 years but a big hole in the ground and a lot of mud?
The tenacity of the man, I mean, just the tenacity of it. Because at many times when he could have given up, he never gave up. He never gave up hope.
Sam Wanamaker died in 1993, too soon to see his dream completed. But on the south bank of the Thames, his heart still beats. And so does William Shakespeare.